Welcome to episode 524 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you headed out to your pre-release last weekend or you are gearing up for a fresh standard format, we are here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And on today's episode, all about the Phyrexia All Will Be One pre-release.
Yes.
That we experienced live in 3 dimensions. Our deck
these
boxes.
Are our decks.
Yes.
Wow. Mine doesn't deserve that much fanfare.
Neither does mine.
Wow.
But lessons learned, you know?
Yes,
lessons
absolutely.
learned that we're going to pass on to you about our first impressions with Phyrexia All Will Be One.
Yeah.
Which is dropping on Arena today.
Yeah, so get ready.
Yeah, I'm so excited to draft. It looks like it's going to be fun to draft.
I think it's going to be a good time.
There seems to be some fun synergies. Poison, excuse me. $1 in the swear jar. Toxic is a real thing in this set. And it's like, it felt fairly complicated, honestly.
Absolutely. It was very cool to play.
Not just me then.
I had a really good time. There was a lot going on mechanically. Yeah, I'm super excited to see where this format goes. But this week we'll be talking about where it's starting off.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody who said hi at the pre-release, who's a listener of the show or a watcher. Especially the person who told us they love the Riparian Tiger test.
Oh my goodness, we have to bring back the Riparian Tiger test.
I know, right?
Which is when you're talking about a rare, is it good enough that you would not just rather have a Riparian Tiger, which was an excellent comment from Kaladesh.
Yeah, it's a 4/4 that sometimes can be a 6/6 if you pay energy. Yeah.
Exactly. Do you know what? Really good card.
It's a good test.
Really good card.
To say, should I pick this rare or would I rather just have a Riparian Tiger?
Would I rather just have a Riparian Tiger?
Anyway, thank you everybody from the pre-release we met that listens to the show. We're also going to talk about Oathbreaker because we got Judge Rob coming back on.
Yeah, Judge Rob is going to be here repping Magic Kids and talking to us all about Oathbreaker.
Because we got some new Planeswalkers, 10 in fact, in this new set that we can play with.
So many that means 10 new possibilities, which is so many more than a usual set.
And if you're a Commander fan, but you want to play some faster games of Commander, that's what Oathbreaker is, essentially.
That's basically what it is.
If you want to get it in your lunch break, we'll show you how to do that. And we've got a randomizer for you, of course.
Yeah, but before that gets started, there are some people to thank. First and foremost amongst them are you, the patrons of this show. Become a patron over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. We would be so thrilled to have you. We have no new patrons this week.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh no!
Sad trombone sound.
And remember, if you are able to become a patron right now, but you're like, hey, I know that I can now, but I'm worried about not being able to be a patron in the future. That's okay. You can be a patron for as long as is possible. You can go away and come back. I know, in the last year, we got a lot of messages from people who are like, hey, finances were kind of tight in the past year.
For sure.
As things are, so weird. And do you know what? You being a patron means that, if you're able to right now, you're helping keep the show alive for people who aren't able to right now.
Absolutely.
Because we want the show to be for everybody.
Everybody.
We're out there for everybody. So if you're able to support it right now, but not later, we'll take your support whenever you're able to give it, because we know that sometimes you're able to listen, but you're not able to support.
Absolutely.
And that's okay.
We're here for you, and we're so happy when and if you can be there for us. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Somebody who's always been there for us, of course, is Card Kingdom.
Yes.
We love you, Card Kingdom. You can check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Use our affiliate link to buy whatever you want, including a box of Phyrexia All Will Be One. We always advocate drafting with your friends. It's the best way to play the game, IMO. Singles, if you need some fancy of those step and repeat foils. Have you seen those?
They're so cool. There's some really gorgeous cards.
I know. I'm like, okay, where are mine? I opened one. Not in my pre-release pack, but I did buy a filthy collector booster and open one.
Maria certainly did.
Because I'm a degenerate.
You can, for instance, also get the Vraska Betrayal Sting Borderless manga art. Ooh, you can get beautiful foils like these. Card Kingdom, get cards there, man.
Now that's a slogan.
For you, Card Kingdom.
It's time for the randomizer. Let's get random over on Scryfall.com.
Maria, I've got one for you.
Great.
It's real weird. Are you ready?
I've got one for you that's also real weird.
Here you go.
What?
I know.
Okay. Okay, what I'm looking at, this must be fairly old. This looks like a Bob Ross painting, but I know it's not the Bob Ross lands.
No, it's not.
But it does look like that. It's a winter scene with some sparse trees, a mountain in the background, and then the foreground is a church with its lights on, so you can kind of see the warm glow from inside the church. And the reason I know is because there's a giant cross on top.
The cross is as big as the building.
Like, that's also a weird sight. You don't see any kind of, like, I don't know.
There's not a ton of that kind of iconography
Christian
and magic.
imagery and magic.
It's a very big cross on top of this church.
And is this the artist signature down here in the right?
I think so.
It's very large and it's in gold. And there's like kind of a light shining. What in the world card is this?
Yeah, this card. All right, Maria, tell me what you think's going on here.
Can you tell me if this is a land?
It is not a land.
Okay, that is even more surprising. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go with my gut. This is a white card. It's probably, is it from like a cold snap or like the winter themed set?
All right, keep going.
Okay, all right. It's called Frosty Night, and it's white, and you know, it's some kind of enchantment because there's no creature at all on this card whatsoever. Frosty Night. And it says whenever your opponent attacks you, it taxes them. They have to pay 1 for each creature that's attacking.
Oh, you got many things about this right.
Oh,
It is a white enchantment.
All right, I hit the vibe.
Yeah, from Ice Age originally.
All right, got
its
that.
Its name is Hallowed Ground.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, Hallowed Ground. It's 1 and a white for an enchantment. It has white, return target non-snow covered land you control to owner's hand.
Okay, so it cared about lands.
It cared about lands.
Also,
yes.
What? You could just
yes.
If they
white, return target non-snow land you control to its owner's hand.
You control.
Yes.
I was like, you can just bounce all of your opponent's lands.
No, it's only yours. So
why?
I don't know.
We didn't play
Hallowed
back
Ground.
then.
Here it is.
If you know why you were bouncing your own land back to your hand,
this, please tell us.
Tell us. I'm sure there's some kind of weird benefit. All right. Well, that card's garbage.
Very strange.
Here's your card. Get ready for even weirder art if possible.
Wow. Okay.
Describe this, if you will.
I honestly can't. Okay, on the left-hand side is like a, I'm going to say like some kind of scholar or monk, like monk scholar.
Yeah.
Sitting at their desk. They have enormous flat ears. Their ears are so long. They're like if bats had ears that were as long as their bodies.
It looks like fennec fox ears.
Yes, it is kind of like fennec fox ears. And we're seeing them from the back, and they're in their little robe, and they have all these piled scrolls. And that's like the left-hand side. And then there's like a scroll wall. And then on the right-hand side is like this same scholar maybe, but hanging upside down from the torso up only. Upside down once again against like a blue sky backdrop, and they have like their hand open with like some kind of glowing orb inside of it.
What's going on here?
Okay, here's my guess.
Yes.
This is a blue card. It is from the original Kamigawa block, and it is one of the ones where it's like you could turn it
upside down.
Yeah, you could turn it upside down to do a different thing.
Yeah.
So it's a creature on one side and an enchantment on the other side.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it's blue. It's 1 and a blue for a 2/1. It's like I said, some kind of monk scholar is like a 2/1, and if it deals combat damage to an opponent, you can draw a card and discard a card.
Nice.
If you discard an instant or sorcery,
you flip.
You turn it around, and it becomes an enchantment that says whenever you discard a card, target opponent mills 2.
Great guess. I mean, you're correct. It is from Champions of Kamigawa.
All right.
And it is precisely the Flipsy Dipsy cards.
Oh, man.
What are those called?
No, I have no idea. What does it say?
This is Kitsune Mystic. So on one side, it is a 3/4 fox wizard. Okay, so it is a fox. At the beginning of the end step, if Kitsune Mystic is enchanted by 2 or more auras, flip it.
Wow. Okay. It is just called flipping
You
it.
flip it. It flips into Autumn Tail, Kitsune Sage. 1, attach target aura attached to a creature to another creature, and it's a 4/5.
Wow.
So
all right.
this likes auras. So I'm giving it a thumbs
into
up.
It. Wow. I'm just glad that I correctly identified the mechanic of the card.
You really did. You did. I would give you the win in this like if this was a game show that you got closest.
Very weird.
Thumbs up to Scryfall that when you look at this card, you can hit the flip button and
then
it flips
it literally just like does
whoop, and it flips it for you.
Wow. What a weird mechanic that I think that like probably never see again.
It looks awful. Yeah. I mean, on a card.
It looks very bad. It's like really hard to parse. It's
hard to understand.
It's just worse double-sided.
Yes, for sure.
Is like what it is.
It's probably before then they didn't want to do like two sides of the card,
maybe not.
or maybe they even couldn't.
Yeah.
So they did this, which, okay, maybe you had to back then, but like,
thank goodness we don't have to now.
Yeah, I hope this never comes back.
Hope it never comes back. Are you ready to talk about Sealed from the pre-release this weekend?
I'm so ready. Megan, I've got to ask you though.
Yeah.
This was your first in-person pre-release since the pandemic started.
Yes,
What was the experience like for you being back in a game store, back playing with real people?
It was very fun.
Yeah.
It was a great time. It was so much fun. So many lovely people. It was so nice to see our friends.
Yes, all our friends were there.
It was a little stressful for me. Like by the end of the fourth round, I was like, I need to not be in this room full of people.
Was it just because you were not used to being with so many people again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just like the feeling of being like elbow to elbow in a room. I was like, eek.
Yeah.
This is very strange. And it was like weirdly exhausting. Like afterwards I was very fatigued.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was great. It was a lot of fun. I loved the feeling of like playing with cards again.
Paper cards.
Playing with paper cards, like shuffling up my deck, seeing all my opponents' like accessories, having my own accessories. Like what a lovely time. I know
one of my opponents remarked on this too, and was like, "Oh yeah, I have to remember how to mulligan IRL because Arena just does it for you."
I was like, okay, which one do I do again? Oh, I have to draw 7 and then put one on the bottom.
Right, because doing it, weird. Even if you know, it's like doing it in paper, you have to relearn the physical elements of mulliganing.
Like, what does it do?
Muscle memory.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
But it was so fun. And I realized, do you know what? Like, flicking your cards comes right back to you, man.
Sure does.
I'm a card flicker, and you know that I was sitting there.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, flicking my cards.
And it's so satisfying.
It's really satisfying. It's like very tactily satisfying. What
was your overall takeaway from playing limited in this environment?
Oh my goodness.
For the first time.
You need to be consistent.
What do you mean?
Heck. You cannot spend time
doing nothing.
Yeah,
I
because
agree.
you will just get trounced by fast white decks.
Yeah, there's a lot of fast creatures.
Yeah, white does seem to be a very good color. Like white and green seem to be pretty powerful.
Poison deck.
Yes.
Toxic.
Exactly. And like their creatures, they do give poison counters.
They do.
So
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from the format is like, you need to be doing stuff.
Yes, I agree.
And congratulations to White having the comeback of the century.
Sure, absolutely.
In these last couple of years.
2 excellent exile spells.
Yes. And I just mean like it's for the last couple of sets, it has been a very strong draft color and it feels like it's going to be again.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what feels like it's getting weaker?
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue had too long in the sun.
You know what? It just makes me mad. It just makes me mad. They're like, what's Blue's thing? And they've decided their thing is just like small creatures and that's it. Like everyone else's benefit, like its benefits like flying has been given to other colors, card draw given to other colors. They're just like, oh, and so all it's left with is like, it used to have tiny creatures.
The shadow of its former self.
You had tiny creatures because you had these other benefits that other colors didn't have. Now those other colors have those benefits. So you're like, why am I playing the color of tiny creatures? That's my soapbox moment.
Blue soapbox moment.
Yes.
Here's my main takeaway playing this format was, I mean, because of playing in real life, there's so much more to be aware of and to keep track of when you're playing because you literally have to write down your life total. You have to remember all these things, but you also have to keep track of the poison that you and your opponents have. And I had more mistakes in life total and poison tracking that I've had in any other format.
Same.
Period.
Absolutely.
Because there's just a lot, right? Yeah. And it's multiple instances of how many times did you get hit by a creature with toxic? What was their toxic?
Like what damage did you take versus how much toxic?
Yes. Did they have like a special bonus that gave their toxic creatures more? Whatever. So that's my PSA is if you're playing in person,
be very careful
and write it down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can use an app and stuff, and I think that's okay for normal games. But I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know if that's okay for this set because there were so many times me and my opponent disagreed on where we're at.
Yeah.
And, in the end, we just figured it out, or we're like, whatever, who cares? It's a pre-release. But if you're playing in a PTQ or whatever.
You need to be on top of it.
Because, yeah, there's a lot. And my brain kind of felt like it was a little bit on overdrive.
Yeah.
Especially with all of the little stuff you can do, like paying life to give a creature -1/-1 with a certain card or whatever. It just was like, I sat there and I'm like, wait a second, what's the most ideal way I can play this turn? More often than I remember doing that in other sets.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I think complexity, high.
Yes.
That's my main takeaway.
Maria, did you get a poison kill or were you killed by poison?
No.
Wow.
I was expecting it to happen and it never did.
I certainly killed people with poison.
Did you really?
Yes, I had multiple poison kills and it was very cool and very satisfying.
Oh, I would have loved to get a poison kill.
Which it absolutely is like possible to do it without dealing any poison damage, without dealing toxic damage, because there's...
Don't you have to at least do it one time?
No, because there's cards that give your opponent a poison counter.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you can just proliferate it.
Oh my God.
Or you just give them to them with those same cards again and again.
That sounds very satisfying.
It was very cool. That was one of my favorite parts.
So you never ever hit them with a toxic creature. You just...
No, I still did. Like I had some small toxic creatures like the
let's make your deck.
Pestilent Siphoner. This card is a 1 and a black for a 1/1 flying toxic 1. And this card is just so good. Because you
got to get the engine rolling.
You just toxic them right away. Okay, here's the star of my deck.
Yeah, let's go.
Was obviously Kato Dancing Shadow.
Okay, what colors did you play? Did you play Esper?
I played blue-black.
Blue-black, okay.
Yeah. Kato is just like, obviously a very powerful planeswalker.
Yeah.
He's just one of the rare planeswalkers, but very good. So hard to deal with. They have to have multiple creatures out because he's 2 blue-black for a 3 loyalty. And he has +1 up to 1 target creature can't attack or block until your next turn. Obviously just very good. That's an excellent protection.
Yeah.
0, draw a card, and -2, make a 2/2 drone with death touch, and when it leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And he has the static that whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may return one of them to its owner's hand. If you do, you can activate his loyalty abilities twice. And so you can like play this, plus it so their one creature can't block, hit them, return your creature to its hand, and then activate him again.
So good.
It's like it was really very, very good. So obviously that was one of the stars.
Yeah, that's a star for sure.
Another excellent creature, Voidwing Hybrid.
Oh,
this was one of the other things that made me blue-black. Blue-black for a 2/1 flyer, toxic 1. When you proliferate, you can return it from your graveyard to your hand.
So
Do you
good.
know what? They don't want to trade with it because it's just really excellent.
Gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, I loved the little, we have the Skull Bombs.
Oh, the Skull Bomb series.
Yes, which are just so nice, right? They're nice if you can activate their colored mana ability, and they're nice if you have them in your opening hand and you're like, this isn't a great keeper, but it has this and I can activate it for 1.
Which one did you have?
I had the black one.
The black one. So they do different things, I realized, much to my chagrin. I thought they all did the same thing when I was playing. So this one says 1, sacrifice the Skull Bomb, draw a card. 2 and a black, sacrifice, draw Skull Bomb. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw a card, activate only as a sorcery. So yeah, it's great early because if you need to crack it, you can. Or later on, get a creature back and draw a card for 3 mana.
It's just really
disgusting.
Quite good.
Yeah, I think these Skull Bombs are going to be like, just play as many as you like draft.
Yeah. Another excellent uncommon in my deck was Bilious Skull Dweller.
Oh.
This is 1 black for a 1/1 death touch toxic 1. Again, like just trades with anything, man. They don't want to trade with it.
Seems very good.
You can hit them with it. Infectious Inquiry. This is one of the cards I was talking about that gives your opponent a poison counter. You draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life, and each opponent gets a poison counter.
So you could just
excellent.
Start it that way.
Yeah. Same with Prologue to Phyresis. This is 1 and a blue. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Draw a card.
Oh,
like
nice.
just a cycler that gives them their first little poison counter.
Yeah, and that's 1 and a blue. That's a good rate for that.
Yeah, man.
Wow. So here, Megan's laying her deck out. We'll put up a picture of the deck for everybody to see who was watching the YouTube video. What was your record with this deck? We played 4 rounds.
I went 1-3.
Yeah.
It was it was quite bad.
So what was wrong with this deck?
Woof. You know, it's hard to say just because it just felt uneven.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It just kind of felt like I could not get things to go smoothly ever. Sometimes my opponent aggroed me out. Sometimes my opponent played really big bomby rares. Like we were talking about the green Dominus.
Yeah.
I got like, they would just get to 8 and play that. And then that thing just absolutely annihilates you. And so it was just, it was just kind of weird. It was like, it just wasn't right.
That's the exact same way I felt about my deck too. It just couldn't get there. And I had the feeling that it didn't have the synergy that it needed, which is a weird thing to feel. I also didn't have any bombs, but whatever. Yeah. But it was a weird thing to feel when you have a feeling that a set might be bomb oriented, because I say that because the bombs in the set are really, really, really good. However, it felt like I didn't have synergy. And normally you don't have those two things.
Yeah, you don't need both synergy and
bombs. Yeah. So I think that the bombs in this format are very bomby, but I also think that you need synergy or your deck's not going to do anything, even if you have bombs.
Yeah. I think that you're correct.
I think that's what I'm thinking of this set so far.
Yeah, Maria, let's see what you've got.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my all-stars here from this deck. I played black-white, and it was trying to do toxic things. Did it really? No, dear reader, it did not, but it wanted to. And if I were to play a good toxic deck, I think it just might include cards like Porcelain Zealot, which is 3 and a white for a 2/3 Phyrexian Soldier. It's an uncommon. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Hold up. If that creature has toxic, instead it gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
I had an opponent play that against me, and it was just very, very good.
Yeah, it's just
excellent card.
What are you gonna do? You tune your mites into 3/3s.
Yeah.
That gets through most things early on in the game. Yeah. Speaking of mites, let's speak about Charge of the Mites, shall we?
Yeah, excellent card.
I love this card. It's so flexible. A 2 and a white for an instant even. Choose one. Charge of the Mites deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. So you do want mites to cast mites, which is a little awkward, but whatever. Hopefully you have multiples of them. Or you can just make two mites, 1/1 mites. They can't block. I want to reiterate that.
Yes.
So yeah, that goes with Porcelain Zealot. Great, because you make your little mites, you pump them up to 3/3s, and you go to town. You mentioned white being very strong. I think a strong white card is Duelist of Deep Faith, which is 1 and a white for the 2/2 toxic one, as long as your turn has first strike.
Yeah. Like what? They just get, this is like one of the best bears.
Yes. I've wait, this is 2 mana?
This is an excellent common bear.
This is a bear.
1 and a white for 2 mana for a 2/2 that also has toxic and has first strike on your turn. Jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
That card's, really very strong.
So we talked about the white removal being very good in this set. The black removal, which is an interesting card, is Annihilating Glare.
Yeah. I'm not happy with this card.
It's a sorcery, which is its really only drawback.
Yeah.
Single black. As an additional cost to cast a spell, pay 4 or sacrifice an artifact or creature, destroy target creature or planeswalker. You just sacrifice your might.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you kill whatever you
want. I will say, you want this in a deck where you can sacrifice things like mites, because at 5 mana, it is not good.
5 mana is not good enough.
You cannot be paying 5 mana for your Annihilating Glares.
Especially for a destroy effect, because some creatures, destroy is not good enough to get rid of them.
I had 2 of these. I played 2 of them in my deck, and I just was not happy with them at all.
Yeah, the only way to play this is with mites, because it's just too much, like you said.
Yep.
The flying toxic creatures, I think, are completely OP.
So good. I
have Flensing Raptor here, which is an example of one. You mentioned one. Yeah. This is a 2 and a white flyer, toxic 1/2/2. When it enters the battlefield, another target creature you control with toxic gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn.
Very good.
This card is really nasty. Good. You can jump your might and hit him if you want, or whatever.
Jump your might.
Jump your might.
Jump your might. That sounds like an Australian saying.
I jump your might. You jump your might last night?
Every single Australian listener of our show has just turned off the podcast.
Goodbye.
Never to return. They're all like, this was my exit.
I mean, it's not quite as bad as when I said that a British slang term was, I choked down a goose.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
We haven't had a British listener since then.
We're slowly whittling down the countries that listen to us. Bone Picker Scourge is a nice payoff for playing toxic flyers.
Yeah.
It is a 2/2 flyer for 2 and a black. And with Corrupted, it gets Death Touch and Lifelink, which is a nice little additional
really
bonus.
Nice.
I want to call it the lands, the spheres in this set.
Just gotta play them, baby.
Play all of them. Draw
real
Spits
nice.
is the black one. They enter tapped. And then for one in a color that they are, you sacrifice it to draw a card.
Really good.
I love stuff like this. I love it. And finally, I just need to call out the best named card of the set. Do you know what it is?
No, what?
It's my nickname in college, Gulping Scrap Trap.
Wow, the art on this is really horrifying.
Yeah, it's
also.
very spooky. That's a Gulping Scrap Trap if I ever saw one.
is.
Right there.
Oh man, and this also has that excellent. This one is a 5 mana 4/4. When it enters the battlefield or dies, proliferate. I also wanted to call out the one in a black rat.
Yes, Blight Belly Rat.
Yeah, when it dies, proliferate. I killed someone by sacrificing it with an annihilating glare.
Oh, that's
which
pretty good.
was
That's a
very
good kill.
good for the last
Clean
poison counter.
kill.
Like,
I have the Rat King in this deck.
oh yeah, who's the Rat King? Tell us about him.
Caromonix, the Rat King. It's 3 mana.
Yeah.
You look at the top 5, I think it is. Yeah, and then you can put a rat. Any number
Put
of
a
rat.
Any rat.
Put any number of rat into your hand. Other rats you control of toxic ones. So if you're looking for a Ratmander,
Ratmander.
consider Caromonix to poison your opponents. I had 2 Blight Belly Rats.
Look at the art too.
I was mostly just playing it for being a 3/3. Yeah, that's
Looking
like
great.
the ink version.
Yeah.
I got to use my astrology basics for the first time.
They're gorgeous.
Nobody knew what color of mana I was
No,
tapping
it's
for.
very true. They do
at
have the
any
problem
point in the
that they're
game.
all generally kind of like pink and blue. They're all in the same color palette.
But it made me so happy. It looks so
They're
beautiful.
really gorgeous.
I love them so much.
Yeah, they're really pretty in person.
Merry Crimbus to me. But yeah, my deck, much like yours, was just inert. That's the way I would describe it. Never really got going.
I would love to know players out there who played in your pre-release. How did you do? What did you feel about the format? Did you agree that it felt very quick to you? Or did you feel like you needed more cohesion? Did you need more bombs? Or did you just go out there and really kill it, man?
Yeah, I'm interested to know, especially now with it releasing on Arena today. Get out there and try the draft, because if synergy is the thing that you want, draft is the format you want to be playing.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think it'll be really fun, and everyone's going to be trying to draft Toxic because I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking more about draft as the format evolves.
Yes.
Also, just because I was like, oh, hey, tell us about your draft decks or your sealed decks in the comments.
Yeah.
I wanted to say thank you to everyone who commiserated with us about the absolute horror that is the 6 layers of a so-called 7-layer bar.
What a lie.
We had
We've all
more
been
people,
taught.
I think, being also mad about that with us than about almost anything else that we've done.
And you
so
should
thank
be.
you.
You
And
really
you
should be. Because
what the heck?
we have been fed a lie,
What
literally
the
and figuratively.
We've been fed, we've been literally fed a lie. Absolutely abominable.
Yeah, and if you didn't hear the update about it, butter is so apparently the
Butter
7th
is
layer.
the quote unquote 7th
not a layer.
layer.
It's not a layer.
It goes with the graham cracker.
Yeah.
That's 1 layer. That's 1 layer.
I don't know. Okay, what would you put in there to be the true 7th layer?
Ooh.
Peanut butter?
No.
Is that going to be too much?
I think that's just like not the flavor profile that I want on it. It already has like the sweetened condensed milk drizzle, but I was thinking just like
raspberries.
some marshmallows. Like mini marshmallows.
Marshmallow could be a layer.
Exactly. Like Judge Rob proposed marshmallow fluff layer, but his also had fudge, which was a really good layer to also put in there.
He also suggested a cookie layer.
Yes, cookie. We should make Judge Rob's 3-layer bars.
True 3-layer bars.
Cookie layer, marshmallow fluff layer, fudge layer at the end.
Good gravy. Good gravy. So we'll talk to you more about Limited in their shows coming up. And P.S. Next week is the week we're going to be in Philadelphia for MagicCon.
Yeah, so exciting.
So we're going to be working the Pro Tour, first paper Pro Tour since 2019.
Wow. And we'll give you a little preview of what is even happening in Pioneer,
Pioneer
which is
and
the
draft.
format. Yeah. Oh, so excited to see some Pro Tour drafts again.
Oh
They're
my God.
excellent.
It's the best part.
If you've never watched a Pro Tour draft, just get excited. People draft. It's the best part is watching people draft things that were not on your radar at that have not yet been discovered, and the format will still be pretty fresh.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so new. Because
really cool.
At these other Pro Tours, 4 years ago, we kind of, the format was a little bit more solved, quote unquote.
By then.
So this will be nice.
Very exciting.
So anyway, stay tuned for that, you fine feathered friends. Hey everybody, we've got Judge Rob here to talk about the upcoming MagicCon in Philadelphia. Very exciting, Rob.
I'm really excited for this event. It's going to be my first real big one since SCGCon Dallas.
Wow.
And it's going to be way bigger than that.
Yes.
Thousands of people have already pre-registered for this event. I cannot give you specific numbers, but I have more specific numbers than that.
We don't need specific numbers.
We don't want any information that is in your NDA, Rob.
It's true. All I can say is that everyone is very excited, and this event is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Yay.
So pumped for this next week. You're going to be there, and you're going to be there on behalf of our good friends Magic Kids.
Partially for Magic Kids. Most of what I'm doing is working for Pastimes. I'm going to be at the green stage. I'll be doing... I'm the tournament area lead for the green stage.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. We're only running all the big competitive events for the weekend.
Okay.
Wow.
That's all.
So-
That's all. No big deal.
Nothing big.
Okay, so you're actually doing actual judge situations.
I doubt if I'm going to take a judge call. I'm managing people.
Well, if I need a judge call, it's Rob or nobody. That's what I say.
The floor judges report to their leads who report to me, and whatever. So I might take a judge call. I'm very excited. Magic Kids is going to have a booth there.
Yes.
We've been working up towards this, and Magic Kids is going to be spending the weekend teaching people how to play Magic. Most of the people at the con will know how to play Magic, but people might bring their kids along.
Yeah,
and
sure.
be like, hey, my kid doesn't know how to play. You also get to spend a bunch of time chatting with them if you want to go up and talk to them about getting a local community Magic group started for kids.
Very cool.
Yes, that's the thing that Magic Kids does, which is helps kids build these Magic social clubs.
And they tweet really cool things too sometimes. Like once they showed off this picture of a Magic card, and they're like, literally, what this teaches kids like 10 things: reading, math, social skills, art appreciation, literature with flavor text,
strategy.
You know what I mean?
And when you get them involved in Oathbreaker, you can teach them how to betray their friends after making alliances.
That is a great point.
Betrayal is a top skill that kids just don't get in normal curriculum.
Yeah,
right,
so
exactly.
true.
And in today's America, betrayal is more prevalent than ever.
Wow. It's so topical. It's really quite topical.
Do you want to teach kids to betray? Consider starting a Magic Kids club.
Yes.
But if you've been thinking about it, that's a great place to go.
If you've been thinking about it, if you're at Philadelphia, swing by the Magic Kids booth, swing by the green area. I'm going to be like this, except in a pastime shirt.
Like this.
So
he gestures to his beard.
Find Judge Rob by his beard.
It's true. My beard and my voice are the two most recognizable things about me. But the other thing that Magic Kids is doing at Philadelphia is they're debuting a new Oathbreaker pre-con.
Yes.
Oathbreaker is a 60 card format where you play with a legendary planeswalker as your Oathbreaker and a signature spell that's within their colors. And it starts at 20 life and doesn't have commander damage. And you just play fast games.
Yeah. And fun multiplayer fun times.
Yep.
Super fun multiplayer fun times.
And so we did a play with those with the 4 that they did last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they're adding a 5th. Yeah. Liliana Death's Majesty.
Great. And so what's her deal in this deck?
So Liliana Death's Majesty's job in this deck is to mill you. She does a lot of self-mill. She creates a lot of zombie tokens. And then she turns on Liliana's Triumph, which is her signature spell, which makes your opponent sacrifice creatures and discard cards.
Wow.
Seems very rude.
She's very rude. The deck is a general principle self-mill deck with reanimation. It has a lot of, Crow of Dark Tidings that mills yourself, and then a lot of different zombify effects of various stripes that'll bring stuff back from the graveyard. And I'm really excited about how it shows off cards that look kind of medium at first glance, but are actually really good in the deck. So for instance, like Deadly Plot, which has a lot of flexibility. It either kills a thing or reanimates a zombie, which there's a bunch of in the deck. Gorging Vulture, which mills you and gains you life based on the creatures in your graveyard. Like these kind of look fine, but they're really good in a deck like this.
Once you've got synergy.
Yeah, synergies. Things that multiply the values of your cards beyond what their just straight text says. But it shows off a lot of that. It's a fun new pre-con. If you want to stop by and donate $30 to Magic Kids at the Magic Kids booth at Philly, that's where they'll have them for the first time.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, very cool.
Donate to a good cause. Get yourself an Oathbreaker deck. Play it between rounds of whatever you're doing at the con.
Because Oathbreaker's pretty fast.
It's fast. That's the deal. It's like Commander,
so nice.
that's fast.
Yeah.
This deck also has Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Just saying.
It's a zombie that you can reanimate from the graveyard. Well, you're not going to include Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Gary, get in the deck.
So,
wow. Well, that's awesome. Okay,
lot
so
of quality stuff in
brand new deck available, $30 donation. I love it. And speaking of Oathbreaker, we're fans of it on this show.
Yes.
It's a very fun, fast format, like we said, and we have video gameplay of us playing Oathbreaker if you've never seen it before. There's new Planeswalkers.
Yes, there's 10 in this set.
10, yes.
Yeah. And so there's a bunch of new options for Oathbreakers. There's no new color combinations available, but there's only a few 3 colors and 4 colors to mine out in the Planeswalker space. But we do have is Planeswalkers with exciting abilities, like a Planeswalker that just says proliferate.
Yes. So exciting.
So like Vraska Betrayal Sting, she's Phyrexian black and 4, starts with 6 loyalty or 4 loyalty if you pay life. She's completed. You can pay life to get less loyalty. 0, draw card, lose 1 life, proliferate.
Sick.
-2, target creature becomes a treasure artifact with the treasure stuff. Tap and sacrifice it, and loses all other card types and abilities.
Love it.
So it turns something to stone, and your opponent has to sacrifice it. And -9, if target player has fewer than 9 poison counters, they get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. So it puts them to 9, and then you can recast Vraska and kill them.
Spicy.
Because she proliferates their poison counters.
Yes. Wow.
I plan on putting this together because she's the Planeswalker I'm most excited for in this set. My choice for signature spell, if I want to do poison, I'll do Vraska's Fall. I'm not sure if I want to. If I just want to do...
Rob, come on.
I might just want to do shenanigans. I might want Grim Affliction. Grim Affliction says put a -1/-1 counter on target creature, then
so
proliferate.
you want to proliferate.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to count Vraska up faster because I'm probably going to kill him with poison anyways. I'm probably going to -9 her.
Probably going to kill him with poison anyway.
I get there faster by proliferating more. Or something like Vat Emergence was another one I was thinking about. I might just do a reanimation strategy, right? Vat Emergence puts target creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under my control and then proliferates.
Okay.
Ooh, also, notably, any graveyard.
Any graveyard.
Ooh.
If they have good stuff, I would like it.
Yeah, I like the proliferate. I take everything back, all the fun I made of you, Rob. I think proliferate would be most fun for Esky.
I also have some oddball synergies that I want to try out. Have you seen the Mycosynth Garden in the new set?
No.
It's a land. It has stuff that you don't care about, but it says X and tap. Its ability that we care about is X and tap. Mycosynth Garden becomes a copy of target non-token artifact permanently. And so what this let me do, I was in the early access streamer event. My opponent Vraska'd my Phyrexian Negator. Or my Phyrexian Obliterator, right? And so I had a treasure.
Wow, sick brags about you and your opponent.
Oh, their Vraska is very good. I could never kill their Vraska. I had to kill them. But they hit it with Vraska, and I was like, well, I've got this Mycosynth in the garden. I'm just going to do like a lot of nothing and pass the turn. And they did a whatever. And then on their end step, I copied my treasure because it's not a token, right? It doesn't make it into a token.
It makes it into a literal treasure?
It makes it into a non-token treasure. It just changes the type to artifact treasure.
See. It just makes
so my Phyrexian Obliterator was a treasure, and so I copied it with Mycosynth in the garden, and I got the base Phyrexian Obliterator back.
Wow.
And then attacked them again. And then I was like, all right, attack you with this. And they were like,
this is why you hang out with Judge Rob, so you know you can do stuff like this.
That is unbelievable.
My opponent started clocking down. They're like, what just happened here? I'm sure.
Yeah, like, hello, bug report. And you're like, no.
My name is J.A. Judge Rob on early access. Like, it's fine. But so I copied it. I won that game, but I didn't kill the Vraska. I actually had to kill them because I couldn't figure out how to kill her.
That is sweet.
And so they treasured the second Phyrexian Obliterator as well. And so I've got a screenshot of me with 2 treasures that are named Phyrexian Obliterator.
Wow. Brutal.
But you could do stuff. Sculpting Steel also copies arbitrary artifacts, so you can treasure their creature, copy it with Sculpting Steel to get the base creature.
Rob, you're just a scientist in a lab, and you're just going to town.
I like to do weird things. You can also treasure your own things to hide them from opponent's creature removal, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, you know.
I'm also super excited about Nahiri the Unforgiving.
I mean, who wouldn't? Look at her sword arms.
Yes.
Nahiri and her sword arms.
Yeah, she forged her self sword arms.
In the West.
Well, How does she hold the vegetables to cut them?
They just someone
Her cooking is exclusively chopping based.
Well, okay. So
Can you make an entire meal only chopping? That's what Nahiri's doing.
how does she hold the saute pan?
Exclusively
She's not
It's a
cooking
hibachi
anything.
situation, okay?
Oh, so she's got a flat grill.
She has a flat top and she's chopping.
Okay, so she's the best
That's it.
hibachi
Yes.
cook. Okay.
Yes, Nahiri is now the best hibachi chef.
I mean, I'd go to a
In the
Magic themed
multiverse.
restaurant with a Nahiri hibachi.
Right? I would
Right.
also go to that.
I don't want to go to anybody else now. Just Nahiri.
Yep.
Very angrily.
Very angrily.
Very
She will not
angrily.
forgive you or the vegetables. So Nahiri here, she costs white and then a hybrid white-red Phyrexian mana, red and 1. And she's completed, so you can play her as either a 5 loyalty or 3 loyalty, depending on if you pay life for the weird mana symbol. She +1 up until your next turn, up to 1 target creature attacks a player each combat if able. I've seen all sorts of people who don't understand multiplayer very well say this is a bad ability, and it's really good in multiplayer. Things have to fight, but they can't fight Nahiri. They have to attack a player. In 1v1, this also prevents them
I
from
see.
attacking Nahiri. She's defending herself by making you take the damage, which is actually kind of a black ability. I wish it was on a black planeswalker, but she also has +1, discard a card, then draw a card. And then 0, exile target creature or equipment card with mana value less than Nahiri's loyalty from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So she eats a thing in your graveyard and makes a token copy. It's to try to get around shenanigans with you, like bouncing it to your hand or whatever. But what you really want to do, I'm thinking the signature spell for her should be Shrapnel Blast. Like,
Okay.
Yep.
like, no fool around. She'll
Yeah.
if you have artifact creatures and equipments in your graveyard, she'll make a copy. You'll get to hit them, and then you just go to the dome with your free thing because it was going to go away anyways.
That
Yeah.
seems very good.
Yes.
Into it.
And yeah. And it's 5 damage to any target on Shrapnel Blast. So you can hit their planeswalkers. You can get their Oathbreakers, right? And so like Shrapnel Blast is pretty good at its job overall. And you should play a bunch of like random, especially like reconfigure equipment. Rabbit Battery is quite good at its job.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of these. There's also the 4 Mirrodin equipment that give you free tokens when they come out. And so,
and
yeah.
then your token sticks around. It's
Yeah,
like,
the token sticks around. You ship the equipment.
Wow.
She's designed to just make 2/2s from your graveyard at these 4 Mirrodin equipment. So I'm going to play a bunch of those. There's the white-red one for equipped creature has double strike. Like, it's great. And so
Yeah.
there's a bunch of these that are just very valuable. And so I'm thinking about that one as well.
This seems really quite good.
This seems right up your alley, honestly. I think you'd be
mean,
excited to play
Just
this.
continually fiving people in the face
Yes.
with her.
Yep, you have to pay 2 more every time, but you probably don't have to do that more than twice. Like, just... and then she fills the graveyard for herself with her +1 draw card, discard.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like I was thinking about other signature spells. I was like, but I want to loot, and I was like, but she already loots. Why do I need to loot more?
Why loot when you can loot more?
when you
Yep.
can loot more.
The other one that I was really excited about is Kaito, Dancing Shadow, who's black 2 blue or black blue 2 for a legendary planeswalker. He starts at 3 loyalty all the time. Has +1 up to 1 target creature can't attack or block until your next turn.
Let me tell you, I opened this at the pre-release, and this card is just good.
This is a beating.
This
right?
card is just good.
It's a retargetable pacifism, right?
It's kind of obscene. It's like kind
Yeah.
of gross, honestly.
Yeah. And then so if he had pluses to do that, he has 0s to draw a card, -2 to make a 2/2 colorless drone artifact creature token with Death Touch. And when this creature leaves the battlefield,
has
each opponent
Death
loses
Touch.
2 and you gain 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So they can't, like this is also kind of the same ability. They can't attack into your drone, right?
This
Yeah.
card does it all.
And then also, whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may return one of them to its owner's hand. If you do, you may activate loyalty abilities of Kaito twice this turn rather than only once.
So good.
And-
This is so busted.
Did you do that?
Yes, every single time.
Yeah.
It's great.
You play him, you +1, you attack, you return your creature, maybe you +1, maybe you draw a card, maybe you make drone.
Yeah, you
life is your charcuterie, man.
Yeah.
Life is your hibachi grill.
Yeah.
Life is your
Like is the
hibachi grill.
Yes. Is Kaito the true successor to Nahiri?
Yeah.
But my thought for the signature spell for Kaito is Haunting Imitation. Blue and 2 for a sorcery. Each player reveals the top card of their library. For each creature card revealed this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 1/1, and it's a spirit in its addition to its other types, and it has flying. If no creature cards were revealed this way, return Haunting Imitation to its owner's hand, which we don't actually care about that last bit because it's always going to go back to the command zone.
Yeah.
But like what you get to do is you get to play a bunch of ETB creatures, right? So you get to play stuff like Silver Raven or Phyrexia that scry. I'm most interested in because then you get to see the top card of your library and then use Haunting Imitation to make your best ETB triggers. So you can play big game ETB triggers. You can play stuff like Black Primordial.
Sepulcher.
Yeah. Sepulchral Hero.
What's the name of it? Sepulchral Ghoul?
No, Primordial. There's a cycle of Primordial creatures.
Sepulchral.
Wow, we're good at this.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sepulchral primordial.
Yeah.
That's how I guess I would say it. Sepulchral.
Hold on, here we go.
This word in English designates Why are you not just saying it? Why are you not
history
saying
of the word?
Because nobody knows how to say the word
Nobody's
sepulcher.
ever said it.
Sepulchral.
Because it's sepulcher, singular, so sepulchral.
Once you know,
Sepulcher. Sepulcher.
Sepulchral.
Sepulcher.
Sepulchral.
No, sepulchral primordial.
Oh, sepulchral.
No.
Sepulchral?
Sepulchral primordial. Final answer.
Sepulchral primordial. So you get to play. How about we don't use this card?
This card has since been deleted from this deck.
Yes. So you could play big ETB.
Sepulchral.
Sepulchral. So you could play.
Sorry, I'm gonna let you talk now.
Wow, I've never encountered a worse word in all of my life.
Yep. So let's
grief.
circle back around one step.
All right.
So
yep.
So you play a bunch of ETB creatures, right? You get to scry the top of your library. You're playing something like Silver Raven or you're playing Phyrexia, right?
Yeah.
And then you get to see the top card of your library. You need to go for bigger ETB creatures. You get to play something like Sphinx of Uthin for the fact or fiction effect, or you get to play like Ravenous Chupacabra to kill a thing.
Oh, yes. I always
love
put
it.
the chup.
And imagine a flying Chupacabra.
Chups.
Right. Or
I would rather not, but
well, sure.
Okay.
But I mean, there's all sorts of like
not?
there's all sorts of like evoke creatures. Like you could play Shriekmaw or Muldrifter. Like and like getting to hit those off the top with this is pretty good. And then you get to pick them back up and do them again. You get to Muldrifter every turn.
Sounds good. I'm in.
And you could also play things with weird leave the battlefield abilities. My pitch is Thalicosseer, which is one of my favorite strange, incomprehensible creatures of all time, which also fits right into Phyrexia because of all the teeth that don't make any sense
Yeah,
on
I
this
was
card.
gonna
I was looking
Yep.
at teeth arm on this. I was like, I am not about this.
This
Yeah.
art is
really gross.
Well,
nightmare.
the Thalicos were from the Shadow Realm. So this is a 1/1 for blue. It's a Merfolk wizard. It has Shadow, and if it leaves play, draw a card.
Nice.
So Shadow makes it hard to block. So with Kaido, you get to get your second Kaido, pick it up to your hand, and then draw a card for doing so. And then your
Great.
opponent doesn't want to kill it because, well, you get to draw a card when they kill it. They don't want to.
I want to kill it. I don't want to look at its teeth arm
That's
anymore.
fair.
Yeah,
That's-
I'd kill it to get rid of
It's
teeth arm.
perfectly reasonable. It's a weird card from back in the day that
Yeah.
all the ways to abuse it that were easy stopped being around. Used to be able to phase it out, but phasing works differently nowadays,
Yeah.
so it doesn't trigger it from phasing out. But
That would be so
Yeah.
good. Wow.
Puppeteer Click was my other ETB trigger that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Puppeteer Click's great. And then you get to rebuy Puppeteer Click to your hand, so you get to persist it again once it dies.
Well, I think you've made us each a deck here, Rob.
Yes.
I know. I would absolutely play this.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
I'm
Blue
right.
black one seems really sick.
I was thinking about you, and I was like, "What
Right
do you
up
want to
my
do? You want
alley.
to draw cards? Yeah, okay.
I want draw cards.
You want a deck where Muldrifter is your best creature? Cool.
Yeah, I want draw cards.
I would like to use my Hibachi arms to 5 you in the face.
Yep. I'm kind of surprised she doesn't have a sword and a frying pan if she's a
Look,
chef.
all
Look,
she
all
does
she
is
needs-
chop.
Chop, 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 chop.
She does
And
one
the
job.
swords are flat enough that they are kind of
you would
spatula-esque.
serve- yeah.
I mean,
like-
it's true. I do
Chop,
like.
chop, chop, scoop, scoop, scoop.
Serve.
Yeah, it's true. I do use knife for scooping things into
Exactly.
pans all the time.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
These things look straight out of the forge, so she doesn't need to cook them. They've been cooked as they were sliced.
Exactly.
The knife was so hot.
Can you imagine frying an onion as you're chopping it?
Well, okay.
Time saver.
Well, so here's it takes minutes to cook an onion, though, right?
It took minutes.
But that's because it's
not
only as hot
enough.
as your stove
Yeah,
can get.
Exactly.
Well, I don't.
You flash cook an onion.
If you chop an onion with a sword right out of the forge, man, it's gonna fry it up real good.
I feel like this is a question for like YouTube entertainment channels
This is
now.
for Mythbusters.
Yes.
Can I cook an onion with a sword hot enough that with one cut it is cooked?
It's a cooked onion.
Yeah, we're gonna ask.
That seems impossible.
They're gonna be like, no, what you get is like a slice of absolutely burned to a crisp onion.
Yes.
And then an onion that's raw.
Yeah, that's
so bad. Oh my god.
Low and slow is the way that you cook. I don't know.
Fast and hot.
Not when you have hot from the forge sword arms.
Fair.
Everybody, if you haven't given Oathbreaker a shot, we highly encourage it. It's such a fun
Yes.
format. It's fast
Yeah.
to play. It's very silly.
It's very silly and fun.
And if there's a bunch of youth in your life that you think just need a good hobby, seriously,
I think that all the time. I see you.
check out Magic Kids.
You yell them to get off your lawn and get a
Get off
hobby.
your lawn. Yes, exactly.
Magic Kids.
Get a hobby is the new get off my lawn. Get a hobby.
Say hi to Rob at MagicCon Philly. Go over to the Magic Kids
Yep.
booth. Give him a high five from us.
Yes.
Donate $30. Get a sweet Liliana Oathbreaker deck.
Yes.
I think you said give him a high five from us, but it sounded from over here like you said give him a hard time from us.
Oh yeah, give him a hard time.
Just go
too.
over to
Yep.
the Magic Kids booth and mercilessly bully them and say this is from Good Luck High Five.
And they'll be like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this episode of Good Luck High Five.
Yeah, thank you once again to Judge Rob for joining us, talking about Oathbreaker and Magic Kids.
And thank you to Card Kingdom for being just a great card kingdom.
Yeah.
It is a kingdom of cards.
And thank you to everyone who is a patron, whether you are a past, present, or future patron of this show. We so appreciate you. Maybe you are all three.
Yes.
Maybe you're all
it
three
could
of those
be.
things.
It could be. And you can join our
Fancy.
family and get access to our awesome Discord server
Yes.
over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. We would love to have you in the fam. And like we said, let us know how you did at your pre-release this past
Want to
weekend.
know about it.
What you be drafting on Arena on
Hit us with
release
those
day.
sick brags.
You can tweet at us at GLHF Magic. You can respond in the comments below this YouTube video. You can post stuff in our Discord. Whatever floats your boat. You hear that sound?
Your treasure cruise.
Yeah,
Whatever floats your treasure cruise.
That's the sound of a real life.
Whatever
sealed
enchants
deck.
your boggle.
I love that one.